Severus Snape is, without a doubt, one of the most complex and fascinating characters in fiction. But is he the best character ever written? Before we dive into that, make sure to hit the subscribe button if you enjoy deep dives into Harry Potter and other great stories. It really helps the channel grow, and I've got plenty more content coming your way. From the moment he first appeared at Hogwarts, Snape left an unforgettable mark on readers and viewers alike. But beyond the cold, bitter professor we see on the surface lies a character whose actions, motivations, and tragic story make him arguably the best character ever written. From the very beginning of the series, Snape is portrayed as the villain. He's mean, vindictive, and seems to go out of his way to make Harry's life difficult. But even in the first book, there are hints that Snape is more than just an antagonist. Why does Dumbledore, a man known for his wisdom, trust him so implicitly? And why does Snape step in to protect Harry in key moments despite his clear disdain for him? This duality is what makes Snape so compelling. He isn't a simple villain or hero, he lives in the morally gray area where his motivations are always being questioned. However, we can't ignore the fact that Snape was unnecessarily cruel to Harry and Neville. He bullied Neville Longbottom repeatedly, making him fear potions class more than anything else. And with Harry, Snape's treatment often crossed the line. He was vindictive and harsh without justifiable cause. Many argue that regardless of Snape's tragic past, his cruelty towards children was inexcusable. His hatred for Harry was in part due to Harry's resemblance to his father James, who bullied Snape in school. But should the sins of the father justify mistreating the son? This is where the complexity of Snape's character really lies. Was his treatment of Harry and Neville unforgivable? Or is it just a reflection of his deeply damaged psyche? One of the most heartbreaking revelations in the entire series is Snape's tragic backstory. His love for Lily Potter, Harry's mother, defines everything about him. As a child, Snape grew up in an abusive household, which led him to seek refuge in dark magic and, ultimately, the Death Eaters. But it was his love for Lily that turned him against Voldemort. Imagine loving someone so deeply only to lose them to a person you despise and then witnessing their murder. It's this loss that drives Snape for the rest of his life. His loyalty to Dumbledore, his secret protection of Harry, even his coldness, all of it stems from his unresolved love for Lily. Snape isn't motivated by power or glory, but by love and regret. Snape's redemption arc is one of the most powerful in modern fiction. For years, fans believed Snape was the true villain. He was cruel, he was angry, and he seemed to have no redeeming qualities. But in Deathly Hallows, we learn the truth. Snape's loyalty to Dumbledore, his quiet protection of Harry, all of it was driven by his love for Lily. His famous line, "always," when referring to his love for Lily, has become one of the most iconic and emotional moments in the entire series. Unlike many characters in fiction, Snape's redemption isn't about seeking forgiveness or recognition. He remains misunderstood by nearly everyone, sacrificing everything for a world that will never know his true story. This makes his redemption all the more tragic and profound. What makes Snape truly remarkable is his moral complexity. He's not a simple good or bad character, he's deeply flawed, he's bitter, he's angry, and yes, he can be cruel. But that's what makes him so human. His struggle between doing what's right and being overcome by his emotions is something we can all relate to. Despite his flaws, he consistently chooses to fight for what's good, even if it means sacrificing his own happiness. And unlike most heroes, Snape doesn't try to overcome his flaws, he lives with them. He's angry, he's bitter, but he never abandons his mission. That's what makes him one of the most complex characters ever written. Many argue that Snape is, in fact, the true hero of the series. Without his sacrifices, Harry Potter wouldn't have survived. Snape was the one who provided Dumbledore with crucial information, kept Voldemort at bay, and ensured that Harry was protected. But here's the difference. Snape never cared about being seen as a hero. For him, it was all about Lily. His selflessness is what sets him apart from so many other characters. He didn't need to be recognized, he didn't need to be loved by others. His entire life was defined by the one person he lost, and he spent that life making sure her son would live in a world free from Voldemort. Snape's lasting legacy in fiction is his complexity. He defies categorization. He isn't purely good or purely evil, his motivations are personal, his actions morally ambiguous, and his sacrifice unparalleled. Snape reminds us that heroes aren't always perfect. They can be bitter, they can be flawed, and they can still be heroes. Snape is the best character in fiction because he reflects the complexity of the human experience. He's a reminder that love, sacrifice, and redemption don't always look the way we expect. So what do you think? Is Severus Snape the best character in fiction, or do his flaws, like his cruelty towards Harry and Neville, make him less heroic? Let me know what you think in the comments. I'd love to hear your thoughts on whether Snape is misunderstood or simply irredeemable. And if you've enjoyed this deep dive into Snape's character, don't forget to hit the subscribe button. It really helps the channel grow, and I've got more Harry Potter content coming your way. Thanks for watching.